You mentioned the construction report just in your opening remarks. Are you disappointed that in Auckland the house building peak has been now shifted out, I think, from this year till 2019? And also, I think there's figures showing 13,500 consents were expected last year. In Auckland, there was only 10,000. So isn't that disappointing rather than positive?
Oh no, it's not disappointing. I mean, this is the industry making its own projections about what houses are going to be built, and they show a pattern of a higher peak a bit later and building spread across the country. So it's good news for first home buyers, because what they need is more houses on the ground faster, and the construction pipeline shows that. And it's also good news for the 60,000 young people who will be leaving school in the next 3 or 4 months, because whether it's through university or trade training or going directly to work, it shows that over the next 5 or 6 years in one of our biggest sectors, the construction sector, there's a very long pipeline of work, and it's going to keep growing.
Surely it would have been better news for the peak to happen sooner.
Well, it's probably the industry's running about as fast as it can, as they point out themselves. The construction, the rate of increase has been pretty impressive for the last 4 or 5 years, and the projections confirm that that's going to continue, but on a broader basis than just Auckland.
So why do you think they're having to push the peak out further, and why do you think 2017, 2016 came in below the building industry's own expectations for the amount of consents that were issued?
Well, you need to check that with the building industry. My understanding is that nationally it came in about where they expected it to. There are some capacity constraints in the industry because it's been increasing so rapidly, both on the people, building supplies, and also anecdotally some pulling back by the banks from the financing of developments that they think are a bit riskier. So it's not surprising, and in the long run it's probably not a bad thing that you get not quite so sharp a peak and a longer, flatter profile of continuous work.
If that is happening, so banks are pulling back and the industry is constrained, then how confident are you that we're going to meet these targets, which are required in Auckland to supply affordable housing?
Well, remember, these are the industry's projections rather than a target that someone's held to account for. Look, we have a reasonable confidence in them. The industry itself takes into account the availability, the supply side, materials, labour, and they're indicating that this is what will happen. I think what's important to understand about this is the sheer scale of it. I mean, for quite some time there's been a lot of public discussion about whether enough houses can be built. I think people will be surprised to know what 200,000 houses represents, and that is building Dunedin twice and almost Hamilton twice over the next 6 years.